German intelligence officials say a street thug rapper who became the producer of vile ISIS execution videos was killed this week in Syria. The death of Dezo Dog, real name Dennis Cuthbert, was first reported nearly 3 years ago by the Pentagon and later dismissed as false. Now his demise on Wednesday near Deir Ezzor has been confirmed. The German Ghanaian was killed on Wednesday during an airstrike in the town of Garanaj in Syria's Deir Ezzor province, a statement from the pro-Iswafa Media Foundation said. The statement was translated into English by the site monitoring group. The jihadist group also posted 8 graphic photographs on the Telegram messaging app that it said were of his bloody corpse, site said. Cuthbert joined the jihadists early in 2014, abandoning his home to become a mouthpiece in charge of his propaganda that caused the German government to declare him a central figure at the highest management level of the terror group. He is believed to have produced the sickening footage of Jihadi John beheading British and US prisoners with a knife, and it was he who arranged for the videoing and distribution of the tapes showing the beheadings of British innocents David Haines and Alan Henning. Like Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda genius who exhorted his countrymen to fight to the death in WW2, so Dog had a knack for twisting words and smoothly selling the idea of holy war to gullible Muslims in his homeland. America claimed he had been killed in an airstrike in October 2015. But he surfaced in pictures a fortnight later. Cuthbert, who went by the Islamic moniker Abu Talha al-Almani, segued into the radical Salafist scene in Germany in 2010. A Berliner intelligence officials say he has played a key role in luring hundreds of young Germans to fight for us with slick videos that trash the West and promise paradise for those who fight and die in battle. In 2015, the German government submitted a 125-page dossier on his crimes to the Sanctions Committee of the United Nations. Dennis Mamadou Gerhard Cuthbert was born in Berlin on October 18, 1975 in Berlin's gritty Kreuzberg district to a Ghanaian father and a German mother, Sigrid, and grew up in the more middle-class enclaves of Schönberg, Charlottenburg, and Mobit. His father left the family when he was still a baby. He reportedly clashed frequently with his stepfather, a U.S. Army soldier, while growing up, a violent relationship which has served to fuel his hatred of the United States. In 2014, FBI translator Daniela Green married Cuthbert after lying to bosses about her movements and warning her new husband he was under investigation. As a teenager, he ran with gangs, skipped school and took drugs. He carried a butterfly knife and wasn't afraid to use it. Cuthbert was sent to a home for difficult children, returning home after 5 years. "I grew up with racism," he later said. Though my mother is German, some teachers back then would call me Negro and treat all Muslim kids bad. How the Goebbels of ISIS married an FBI translator in Syria. In May last year, the FBI confirmed that one of its translators, based in Syria, had secretly married an IS recruiter whom she had been investigating. Sources told CNN said that Daniela Green had been untruthful to her employers about her 2014 trip. The 38-year-old served 2 years in prison after fleeing back to the U.S. Green's story was ordered to be kept secret by a U.S. judge, but was revealed for the first time in May 2017 after federal court records were made public. Daniela Green married Cuthbert after lying to bosses about her movements and warning her new husband he was under investigation. It transpired that Green had in fact married Dennis Cuthbert, who in February 2015 had been designated a global terrorist by the U.S. government. 6 months after she was first tasked with investigating him, she traveled to Turkey, where she crossed the Syrian border with the help of local IS operatives, CNN reported. She was still married to a U.S. serviceman at the time. But within a month of arriving in Syria in June 2014, she rapidly began to have second thoughts about her new husband and fled the country, opting to return to the U.S. to face her punishment. Details of her escape have not been made clear. She admitted that she had informed Cuthbert he was the target of an FBI investigation, CNN reported. Green pleaded guilty in December 2014 to making false statements in relation to international terrorism and served 2 years in a federal prison before her release in the summer of 2016. Her sentence was believed to be less severe because she had cooperated extensively with the authorities and recognized that she had made an egregious mistake. She is now believed to be working in a hotel at an undisclosed location. He said that from an early age he trained himself in Thai boxing, Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Social workers in Germany sent him to a special farm in Namibia that sought to rehabilitate juvenile delinquents after several spells in youth jails for violence and drug offenses. At the age of 15, I robbed the first tourist, he gloated. I met up with my 8 buddies early in the evening, we had knives and guns, and we would go out robbing. There were rules, no grandmas, no women and no children. His first taste of 9 years in jail came because he shot a gang member in the face with a gas pistol. "What did I do wrong?" said Sigrid at her home in Berlin. Dennis grew up quite normal, liked listening to Tina Turner tapes. "I used to take him swimming and day trips at weekends to Brandenburg. He was a nice little boy. He enjoyed minor success in the early 2000s as a gangster rapper, first calling himself Darkness D and later Dieso Dog. He once toured with DMX and made a couple of records, but his career was increasingly interrupted with violence and crime. After a mental breakdown in 2005 and a stay in a psychiatric clinic, he stated, "In my situation at that time nobody knew whether the next day I would be back in jail or would lie dead in the corner. If I wanted to achieve anything I had to change my life. It was the beginnings of a religious awakening that would lead him eventually to the cauldron of Syria." In November that year, Cuthbert announced he wanted to end his music career and henceforth wanted to be known as an Islamic preacher under the name Abu Malik. In an interview he said he hoped for the victory of Islamist Mujahideen in Afghanistan, Iraq, Chechnya, and Somalia and described Berlin as a non-believer metropolis. The following year he released an Islamic record praising Osama bin Laden with the words, "You flow in our blood." He now came directly into the sights of the Office for the Protection of the Constitution, Germany's MI5. He was covertly tailed and found to be moving in increasingly radical circles. In June 2012 a suicide bomber's vest made by him was discovered in a radical Islamist's flat in Berlin, and he was fined £1,500 after weapons and ammo were found at his home. He was now on a trajectory of radicalism that would lead him in a short time into the higher echelons of IS. Tattooed STRT8 on his right hand, thug on his left, he swore off alcohol and preached radical Islam whenever he could.